What's going on, everyone? It's Tay, aka Slay, and I'm bringing you some tea and a mukbang today. Today, I'm going to be responding to what happened this morning with Chi Chi, the owner of Juvia's Place. Now, I wasn't going to make a video about the whole situation with Juvia's Place. One, because it was a lot. There were a lot of emotions involved, and sometimes I just don't want the smoke. Also, a lot of my mutuals on Twitter and people that I absolutely adore had made amazing videos, especially the last video by Malibu Dollface. He doesn't follow me, but I follow him. And he honestly said everything that I was thinking and wanted to say on the matter. So if I had come on here and made my own video, I probably would have gotten struck with a copyright strike because I would literally be copying everything that he said. So I figured, well, I don't need to say anything. And everything was really dying down, at least I thought, until this morning. Now, I know I don't need to be eating no Taco Bell, but this is exactly what my soul needs right now. Anyway, so let me say this. I'm going to say this right off the bat so you all know where I'm coming from. I know that a lot of people feel a lot of ways about Jackie Aina. The reason I can't completely cancel her, and I've said it in past videos, is because this woman literally saved my life. When I was starting to sink into the deepest parts of my depression, something in my brain said, I want to learn how to do a smoky eye. And all I had in my makeup collection at that point was some ColourPop Ultra Matte lips and their Super Shock shadows. I didn't have not a single makeup brush, nothing. So I went on YouTube and I found Wayne Goss. But then I said, I want to see how this would look on a black woman. And I found Jackie Aina's smoky eye tutorial. So I started binge watching her videos and I got inspired to start doing my makeup. The first foundation I ever bought was the Maybelline Fit Me. And doing my makeup, I found when I did my makeup in the morning and when I did my skincare in the morning and before bed, those were the only times where I did not feel depressed. My mind was so focused on what I was doing, on applying my cleanser or my moisturizer or doing my eyeshadow, putting on the foundation, smoothing out everything, it was literally the only time in the day where I did not have that fog of depression. And then, as I'm going through all of this, after my mom told me that all of her conditions were terminal, after I was struggling in college, probably because of that, dealing with a long distance relationship, we already talked about that, I was, being told by my friends who were looking at me like, maybe you should go speak to somebody, maybe you should seek some counseling. And I was against it because I'd been in and out of counseling most of my adult life and I really didn't think it would help. But then as I'm binge watching Jackie's channel, I see a Get Ready With Me where she's talking about finding the courage to go to counseling. And I took that as a sign where it's like, that's what I need to do. And I did. My last therapy appointment was April 30th. And that marked the end of a 2-year journey in therapy. And I truly do not believe I would have gotten through what I went through had I not been in therapy. And I actually plan to make an entirely separate video about my therapy journey because it seems to be a bit of a taboo within the African American community, just speaking on mental health and the seeking of therapy. I have people in my own family who clowned me for seeking help. And I really feel that it's something that needs to be spoken about. So, stay tuned for that. But back to the matter at hand. That's why I can't just completely say, fuck Jackie Aina. Because she literally saved my life. And it's the same reason like with somebody like Manny MUA. I can't just write him off completely because I found his channel right after my mother passed away. and his personality. And it was, I think the first video of his I saw was his trying 7-Eleven makeup. And watching that video in the home of one of my oldest friends, the day before and the day after my mother was taken off of the machines because she had been declared brain dead, his videos were the only thing that could get me to crack a smile after that. So I have these really strong bonds with these creators. Does that mean that I agree with everything that they do? No. When Jackie went after Paige and accused her of fraud, I actually stopped supporting her for a while. I went back to her because of the reason I already stated. But I was like, you are a businesswoman. You are, whether she, and I know she knows it, but she is a figurehead in this community. And we do hold her to a different standard because she is the most visible Black beauty YouTuber. So it's like, girl, you know better. You really do. But I was like, she knows what she did. She's the one that's going to have to live with it. I still choose to support her content. When she pops off on Twitter, she says things in a way that I don't agree with. And that's literally because we come from two different camps. She is very blunt, very, I'm going to say exactly what's on my mind, the exact way that it is in my brain. And some people can do that, and she's allowed to do that. Does it rub people the wrong way a lot of the time? Yes. And I do believe it's because of the way, because of the whole situation with Paige. That peppers a lot of other things. But I come from the camp of you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So that's why I've made the videos that I've made in the past where I'm like, okay, I understand that you guys are mad at Jackie, but what she's saying is valid. Here's just, I'm going to tell it to you in a way to where you understand and to where it warrants you engaging in the conversation. I don't agree with her blocking people who have a different point of view. Now, if you go and attack her, that's not the same as saying, hey, did you think about it this way? So let's just say that. Now, I woke up this morning. Let me take a bite. I am starving. I woke up this morning full of spunk, full of vigor, which is rare for me, given that I go to a job that destroys my soul on a daily basis. But I had an extra pep in my step this morning because I knew that I only had a half day. And I got up, I did my entire routine, and I go on Twitter when I get on the bus, and what do I see? The owner of Juvia's Place popping all the way off, saying, you know, she's deleted the thread now, but I know people got screenshots, and I'm eagerly awaiting the videos from my favorite creators about this. Always coming. She's talking about Jackie isn't pro-Black. She's slept with a married man for years. She did this, that, and the third. And I'm like, even if all that is true, what they got to do with anything? I understand you are mad because she called your brand out. Let me say this. I know. Here's what I'm not going to do right now. I know that Jeffree Star was the catalyst for all this. And what I'm not going to do is drag Jeffree Star, because I just don't want that smoke. Okay? What I hope that you know by now is that I do not support him, not just because of his past, but also his present. And it's the reason that I have decided to no longer support Juvia's Place, and I'll get into that in a minute. If I hadn't made that decision before, today definitely would have sealed the deal. It's because, and to quote Gabriel Zamora again, I watch these people. I see how they move. I've watched Jeffree be horrible to people that are fans of his, people that buy his products, people that review his products, people that review almost solely his products on on their channels. Looking at you, Porcelain. And people still stand him. He will go out of his way to call people delusional, to call people moronic and stupid. Allegedly call people gorillas and rats, and just be insulting. I hold brand owners to a higher level than just your run-of-the-mill YouTuber. And that's what it is for me. Jeffree Star is a brand owner. You have to hold yourself to another standard when you become a brand owner, when you become a CEO. You can't just be popping off at the mouth. And that was the thing that I tweeted at Chi Chi. She was like, oh, because I have a brand, I have to sit here and suffer abuse. And I said, no, you don't have to just sit back and take it. You can feel free to defend yourself. But if you and Jackie have beef, have a barbecue off the TL. Period. Like, nobody was, the whole situation was blowing over. Like, people were starting to forget it. You had people that were like, screw these entitled YouTubers who are only mad because they didn't get free product. I see black folk on the Juvia's page. The problem was, yes, you see black people and black imagery all over the Juvia's Place IG, but she wasn't out here supporting black men in beauty. She was out here disrespecting black beauty creators while uplifting others. Like, that's a problem for me. You don't have to tear others down in order to build somebody else up. Like, as we like to say, keep the same energy. And that was the problem a lot of people had. You're going to prioritize somebody else and be like, but y'all don't matter, even though y'all were the ones that helped me get on. I would have put this in a video had I made it about Juvia's Place, so I'm just going to insert it here. A few years ago, there was a black-owned hair care, and I think they have skincare now, brand by the name of Shea Moisture. Shea Moisture came about when black women were really getting serious about no longer using relaxers and putting heat on their hair. When the whole, we just gonna go natural and you will deal with it. When that whole thing really started picking up steam, Shea Moisture was one of the first companies who were like, sis, we have products for your hair. We have products for your 4A, 4B, 4C hair. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about the curl patterns. Some are tighter than the others. It's the numbering system that we use for curl patterns in textured hair. So, or for different hair textures, I'll say. So you have black women who built this brand up because we were the only ones really checking for that, because that was the line that was one of the few that actually worked on our textured hair. It was a for us, by us situation. So when they finally came out, when they were bought by a mother company, I forgot which one, they finally started putting out TV spots and commercials. And what did they do? They had women who did not have hair any close to the hair texture of the women who were helping them stay afloat. You had a chick who had hair like this. You had redheads and blondes. And yes, they were white. And that's not the reason that people were upset. It was like, how are you going to be a brand that was here for us and our hair, but not have anybody with our hair in the commercial? We get it. You're trying to appeal to another audience, but you left us out completely. That was the same problem that people had with Juvia's Place. It's like, okay, you're not giving people affiliate codes. You're not giving people, you're taking black creators off the PR list so you can give that coin to the larger white creators who will introduce you to their audiences. however you feel about it, it made people feel a way, and people are allowed to feel what they feel, okay? I don't want to hear about it in the comments about people being entitled. I do not have time for it, and I hate when people try to minimize other people's feelings about this, especially with just everything that we deal with in everyday life. I'm not here to tell anybody to hush. I really wish people would stop trying to minimize other people's feelings, okay? That's where I'm coming from with that. People are allowed to be upset. Let people be upset. Say whatever you want to say on your TL. I'm just here to try to help you understand the other side, okay? So that's how we felt when this happened. It's like, I don't see you thanking Black beauty boys for reviewing your foundation. First of all, it took us 3 weeks to get the foundation. Like, I ordered the foundation the first time. I had to order it twice because I got a shade that was too dark for me. I ordered it the first time. It took maybe 4 or 5 days to get to me. I ordered it the second time with my correct shade. It's not the one I'm wearing right now, but I have worn it throughout this week. And I live in New Jersey. This shipment was being shipped from Secaucus, New Jersey. Secaucus, New Jersey is literally a 25-minute ride on the PATH train from Manhattan. There was nothing going on. There were no strikes with the post office or DHL. So I don't know what was going on, why it took so long. I have a friend out in California who was like, it took 3 weeks for her order. She ordered a bunch of stuff from Juvia's. It took 3 weeks for her order to get from where it is in Jersey out to California. That's a lot. And I've heard other horror stories. Other creators have talked about Tiff and her video about why she won't support Juvia's Place. And a lot of the things that she talks about is their customer service. And she was one of the ones where they said, we don't do affiliate codes. Then later on down the line, she sees other people with affiliate codes. It's like, I thought you weren't doing this. So people are allowed to feel away. Try not to be messy, y'all. I'm sorry. But we hold brand owners to different standards. I've seen a lot on Twitter, people are like, oh, if we knew all of the personal lives of all the brand owners, of the people, we buy makeup from, we would have no makeup because everybody's shady. And I agree. We all problematic. I've done problematic shit. I have friends who've done their own problematic shit, and we've checked each other on it. See, that's the thing. We need to hold people accountable. I have not purchased a Too Faced product since the whole Rich Lives Matter thing. And I understand y'all are mad at Jackie for not speaking up about it. Feel how you feel about it. I'm not here to tell you how to feel away or how not to, but Jackie has said it before. I don't need to speak up against every single slight against the Black community. And no, you can't pick and choose when you're going to, yes, I totally believe in keep the same energy, but I'm not surprised that she didn't say anything. Feel how you want to feel about it. But honestly, had somebody just done a better job of cropping out that cake, we wouldn't have seen it. But the mark of a good brand owner is it's not successful of how your business is. It's how you handle situations such as these. I have that much more respect for Jared Blandino because as soon as he was called out, he was like, you know what, y'all, I'm sorry. But I chose not to support them. I dropped a bottle of Born This Way. I was like, I don't need to replace it. I don't use the multi-sculpting concealers as much as I used to. Those may end up getting decluttered because, in a few months they'll be bad. But, I stopped messing with them. Y'all, there's a video on my channel. I'm not going to delete it because y'all need to see how real I am. I have videos where I was like, you know what, I'm going to give Jeffree Star a chance. But observing how, especially after this whole thing with James Charles, he's just going to go flippantly say this man is a menace to society. But then 2 seconds later, the next day, he's like, you know what, I've changed. No, you haven't, because you're still doing the same stuff. You know, tons of people have stopped supporting Kat Von D because we don't agree with her being an anti-vaxxer, even though she says she's not. But she's like, I'm not going to tell y'all whether I vaccinated my kid or not. That's a whole nother tangent I'm not going to go down. But people are convicted about different things. And, you know, there's some people who are cool with smoking weed. Other people are like, I could never. You know, there's some people who are like, I can have 2 or 3 drinks and it not be a problem. Other people may look at that person who has 2 glasses of champagne at a party and go, you're an alcoholic. Like, people have different thresholds for the amount of bullshit that they're willing to tolerate. But to go online and attack, and I understand why she chose Jackie. One of my person I follow said it best. She was like, Jackie is an easy target because she's a very polarizing figure. Even though there are creators that say the exact same things to her, people go at Jackie because she is the most visible. Nima Tang, Alyssa Ashley, Arnell Armin, all saying the same things, corroborating Jackie's story, but she went after Jackie because Jackie is the most visible. She's the most divisive. And she knows that she will have more people on her side because I think the best way for me to say it is that the others are a little bit more sympathetic. Especially if she chose to go after Nima, it would have been over. It pretty much is over for her. Like, this wasn't the way, sis. This wasn't the way. Handle it professionally. She was the one saying, come on, guys, we really want to move on from this traumatic experience. We just want to put it past us. Sorry. We just want to put it past us. And yet you come on Twitter and do this. That's not the move. I made a joke on Twitter saying it's like this whole situation, and not just the situation, especially Dramageddon 2.0, it really it's starting to make me think about going back to school and finishing my degree in my first field, communications, with a concentration in public relations. Because some of you all think that you can just be regular people and say whatever you want to say and it won't have an effect. Because that's another thing you need to think about. When you are a brand donor and you just say whatever's sitting up here, you're not just putting your livelihood in danger. You are endangering the livelihoods of everybody that works for you. There's a person that I've watched for a while on YouTube here. I believe her name is Metamorphosis Rocks, and she said it. She was like, when you think about the people you cancel, you also have to think about the people that work for them, the people that they support. Because it's like they have families to feed. They have their own bills to pay. You know, they can't control what their boss, their CEO says. So if you pull your support, you're essentially taking the food out of those people's mouths. It's the job of the CEO to watch their P's and Q's, to make sure every I is dotted and T is crossed. You can't be flippant at the mouth when you have people dependent on you. I had a video up where I was talking about the job that I'm getting ready to leave. I didn't say a name, I didn't say the name of the company. But when I was asked to take it down, I took it down. Because being a few months older, being a few months wiser, not the most professional thing I've ever done. I've done some pretty unprofessional stuff, but that was amongst one of the least professional things I've done. Not saying I'm gonna put that video back up though, because some of you all need to know why I talk about this job and rant about it so much. But I took it down because I was like, this is not me being professional. I have a dream of being a boss, of running my own company, whatever it is one day. And the people that I have worked for and under have not shown me the boss that I want to be, except for one. They've shown me the boss that I do not want to be. I want to be better than them. If I have people who I know, not only is my income affected, if I'm just flippant and have people pull their support from, I'm gonna be a little more cautious. You know, you not only do you have employees, you have stockholders and investors, and everybody's gonna be like, listen, you need to shape up. Look at what happened with Lime Crime. You have a whole new board of directors looking at Doe Dare like you still have a seat at the table, but you are no longer the head. We're gonna need you to sit down because we're trying to get these profits back in the red, okay? Or back in the black. We're trying to get these back in the black. We're trying to buy, we're trying to feed our children, send them to college, do whatever. We can't have you as the head if we all want to eat. Okay, speaking of eating. But you just gotta be better. You gotta be better. Like, it's not about, and that's the thing. We do. If you think we are just trying to go after a small business, if you think we're just trying to if you think we are just trying to tear down a black-owned indie brand, that's not the case. We want this brand. I wish I could insert the Tyra Banks meme. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. We wanted Juvia's Place to succeed. We were happy that Juvia's Place was getting some success. That's why initially I wasn't mad at what happened with Jeffree Star. Like, okay, he gave y'all some shine. I understand that that's going to bring his audience in. Y'all are going to make some coin. It's a business move. That's why people saying that, you got to cancel ABH and all these other people that have relationship with Jeffree. It's different. And it's like Malibu Dollface said, it's different because you had somebody who prides herself on this is a for us, by us situation, but who is dogging us behind the scenes. That's the issue. That's the issue. And Norvina, who out here on her various PR searches is like, I want specifically influencers of color. I want specifically those who are doing soft glam looks. Whole threads looking for people to add to the PR list who was like, I want men in beauty. Put your looks in this thread. Women of color. Put your looks in this thread. Still waiting for her to do what Colored Rain did and go, creators over 35. Be in this. And then you have her saying, you have Chi Chi over here saying, what has Jackie done for the black community? Besides speaking up for inclusivity in the makeup community, she flew one of my faves, Neon MUA, and another black micro influencer out to the launch for Uma Beauty. I don't see a lot of influencers flying out people who are coming up behind them so that they get that experience. And especially with his, this is another problem that people have with Juvia's Place, is that they are so reluctant to put black men in beauty on their Instagram page. And that's a whole other video where you have this built-in this built-in homophobia in the black community, where they hate to see men doing anything because like the hyper-masculinity that is forced upon black men, where it's like they do anything slightly effeminate, and that's what's destroying the black community. Y'all need to stop it. I'm gonna say it, point blank period. You need to stop. There is no one way to be black. If you get all in your feelings because you see a black man with some eyeshadow and some lip gloss, you need to deal with yourself. I need to calm down. I'm getting heated. But that was another issue. It's like you haven't put up a black beauty boy on your page in a month of Sundays. All of them have your foundation out here praising it up and down. I don't see any thanks to them. But as soon as Jeffree comes, it's, oh my God, thank you. Like, that was the issue. That was the issue. Like I said, you don't have to put another down to raise another up. Pardon me. Another thing Jackie did. When the whole thing between Jackie and Paige was going on, there were a few creators who people were asking their thoughts for it. And one of those people was Karen Joy. Karen Joy, if you don't know, she is a stage 4 cancer survivor. And I'm glad that she is flourishing. She's looking fabulous. I love her energy. She is a light in this world. And I'm so glad that she is still here. She had a GoFundMe up because at one point she couldn't work anymore because of the cancer, because of her treatments. She put up a GoFundMe. She said one of the reasons that she was reluctant to speak on that situation was because Jackie actually donated to her GoFundMe. What has Jackie done for the Black community? I have all these creators I'm seeing on Twitter talking about Jackie sent me money when I needed it for food, for rent. Jackie sent me money. Jackie sent me equipment. Jackie gave me advice on how to start my channel, how I can grow my channel. She did this. I remember being on IG one day and I saw in her stories where she had just walked into a Sephora. She ran into some fans, I think 3 or 4 of them. She paid for everything that they bought. They didn't ask her to do that. She was just like, you know what? You guys are standing behind me. All of them are with me. Here's my card. I'll see a lot of people. I'm gonna give you some praise. I did see Jeffree do that. I forgot which launch of it. I think it might have been his Thirsty palette, where somebody was like, I want your palette, but I have all these medical bills. And he was like, send me your bills, I'll pay him. Like, I gave him credit for that. Because I don't see a lot of people supporting when they're in the place of power to do something. I don't see a lot of people giving of themselves like that. Especially with as much as they're doing. But I'm going to bring it back to Jackie. I just wanted to give credit where credit was due. But bringing it back to Jackie, she has done so much behind the scenes. She doesn't need to brag about it. And there's a double standard there because people were like, oh, well, you're just doing this for clout. You're just doing this, so people think that you look good. But then when people do stuff behind the scenes, it's, oh, they're not doing nothing. It's a no-win. It's a no-win. It's like after Prince died and you found out that he donated all of this money anonymously. And you're just like, oh. And then you read about the things that Jay-Z is doing out in these streets because he's got the money to. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we have social media and those things can spread like wildfire. But Jackie didn't need the clout. She's like, I'm doing this because you reached out to me. Like, I wasn't expecting her. Like, I told her, I put it in a comment under her review of the Naked Heat palette where I was like, this is what you've done for me. And she said, I love you. It's not much, but just her being there was enough to make sure that I am here right now. And she's done things on the low, and that is her choice. So to say that she hasn't done anything for the community is a fallacy, my friend. If you have beef, throw a barbecue. Keep that off the TL. If you want to send people cease and desist, if you want to take the legal route, do it. But to go online, like, that's why I wasn't so quick to subscribe to Tati and buy Halo Beauty to support her after Bye Sister, because it was like, wait, she's a brand owner. There was another way to handle this. You could have literally just stopped talking to James. You didn't have to make a whole 45-minute video. Just cut him off because you were mad about him and the sponsorship. You didn't agree with his behavior. Just don't talk to. You could have just ghosted him and let people speculate on why you guys weren't as tight as you used to be, or why you guys just aren't friends anymore. You could have just left it alone. You are a brand owner. We hold you to a different standard. Because like I said, it's not just your job. It's the people under you. And it's worse when you are a indie brand. Because there's a lot less cash flow and fewer people supporting you. So you gotta think. You just have to be smarter than that. And that's really all I have to say about it. I'm gonna finish grubbing down, and then I have some stuff to do before I get into this glorious weekend that's coming. All right? Let's have a conversation about it below. Please be respectful. Like I said, I've had a very long week. I don't have time for ignorance. I don't have time for people being mean to me or to each other in the comment section. If I see anything that looks remotely hateful towards anybody that I've mentioned, it will be deleted and you may be blocked. My block game is not strong, but my mute is. Okay? I can't. Like I said, that's gonna be it. I thank you for joining me if you've made it all the way to the end of the video. If you want to see more from me, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of those good things. I know there were a million creators you could have spent time with today. I humbly thank you for coming to Slay. Later.